You are listening to the So Now What podcast with Lana Manikowski, episode number 106. I'm so excited to have you join me again this week for another episode of the podcast. And I have just been so feeling full and grateful and excited about what is to come towards the close of this year. And there's been a lot that I've been working on behind the scenes that I haven't shared yet with you, but don't worry, things are going to be coming your way as far as some new and exciting things that I have been working on. So I wanted to first talk today about the Childless Collective Summit. Now, if you have never attended this summit, it is put together by Katie Seppi from the Childless Collective, and it is 4 days worth of content that is really geared towards any topic you can possibly think of related to childlessness. And I would highly encourage you to join or sign up for the summit. There is going to be a link to it here in the show notes, but also it's in my bio on Instagram, so you can sign up and grab a free ticket through me. I really hope you take advantage of this. If for some reason you can't attend live, there is an option that you can pay for to get 1 year's access to the entire collective summit. So that's like hours and hours of information that you can mull through on your own. If you sign up for the free version or for the free pass, that is awesome. But just know that you'll have access for 24 hours of each day's content. So I will be speaking on December the 3rd, and I am so just honored to have been chosen to be a presenter and a speaker in this summit because I used to be a viewer and an attendee of it, and it helped me so much. And to think about the growth that I have seen personally, to be at a point where I'm a guest and a speaker on this summit is just, I don't know, I feel like it's like I need to pinch myself that not only am I invited to be part of something so amazing, but that I truly feel like I'm at a point in my journey to childlessness and through infertility treatments and my path that I was on to become a mom, to be invited to be a speaker on this prestigious summit just means so much to me. So I really hope that you take advantage of joining. Katie has put together so much information. As I said, the link will be here in the show notes, but you can also go to my Instagram profile, lana.manikowski. And when you go to my bio, I put a link to it. It's the first link you will see so that you can scoop up your ticket and be part of this awesome event. It is December 2nd through the 5th. So I wanted to start out just telling you about that because I think it's really important, and I'm excited for you to join the summit this year. And I'm excited to be part of the summit this year. But today's episode, this came about when I was walking Coco over the weekend. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I don't script my podcast out like months in advance or weeks in advance. I really talk about the things that feel really timely in my life and the things that come to me and I'm confronted with that give me an opportunity to pause and really take in things that I think would be important to you because they're important to me as a woman who's childless, not by choice, and childless after infertility. And maybe that's why I get so many people who reach out telling me how impactful the So Now What podcast has been for them, because I really truly speak to you from the heart. I don't script out my podcast before the episode goes. I have an idea of what I'm going to talk about, but I basically talk from the heart when I speak to you on this podcast because I want you to know what I'm sharing with you is truly what is flowing out of me. And I feel like it comes to you so much more organically and so much more naturally because I just allow myself to share the things that I find relevant in my life with the hopes that you're hearing some things that might be relevant to you during your journey right now. And this one happened to me, this idea came to me when I was on a walk on Saturday with Coco. And where I live, now that we sold our house back in 2022, we sold our dream home, the house that I thought I was going to bring my babies home to, the house that I thought I'd start creating my memories in. And although I didn't know if it would be like my house forever, when we bought the house and when we moved into the house, I had just this connection to it being a place where memories were going to be made. And my husband and I decided together to sell the house in 2022, knowing that we weren't going to have children to bring home to this house. It was a larger house. It had a lot of bedrooms, a lot of bathrooms, really intended to, grow a family in. And when we realized that that wasn't going to be the path for us, we kind of looked around and said, do we really need all of this? So we have been renting since 2022 when we sold the house, and this is now our second rental apartment that we've been in. And I've talked about this a little bit on other episodes, but this has really, to me, been so much more exciting and inviting for me to change atmospheres, minus the packing. Like, I could go without packing and the moving and all the stuff that comes with that. But the actual physical opportunity that I have been given by myself through our decision to move has allowed me to see things and experience things in the city that I live in that I truly don't think would have been available to me if I were a mom. And I really take like a lot of inventory about those things, like the things that in the circumstances and the situations that I'm in that really feel like expansive to me because I'm not a mom. Because before coaching and before all the things that I talk about with you and about the things I teach in my Thrive After Infertility community and with my students, I didn't always note the things that felt like they were a blessing, or the things that felt like they were a new opportunity, or that felt like maybe there was some more excitement to them than I was allowing myself to see. And I really try to take note of those moments. And that's why in this week's podcast episode, I want to talk to you about where your memories are made. Because I was on a walk with Coco in our neighborhood. We live in a neighborhood called Streeterville in Chicago, and it's right by Navy Pier. So if you've ever been to Navy Pier, you might know it for the big Ferris wheel. There's a lot of boats, a lot of touring boats that you can go on different tours and dinner cruises in the city. So it's kind of a touristy area. And had I thought about living here if I was going to have a family, I don't know that I would choose this area. But now that we live here, I was on this walk with Coco, and I notice this a lot when I'm on walks with her, that we live in an area where there's always people that seem happy. There's always people that are taking pictures of the beautiful scenery of the city. There's people like in groups, like traveling together, families traveling together. Sometimes you'll see like work people, maybe they're here on a conference and they have like their name badges and their tags are wrapped around their neck from their conferences. And people are just really seem so happy when they're like walking through the neighborhood that I live in. And I was thinking about that, about how people are making memories around me all the time. And people will look back and be like, hey, remember that time we were in Chicago? Or maybe they'll be watching a movie or see something on TV with one of the scenic areas in the city, and they have a memory associated with the time visiting Chicago, or the time where they're visiting here, or maybe a time that they had a wonderful experience traveling with their partner or with their family or with friends. And I started thinking about how I carried around this belief for a long time that because I couldn't become a mom and I didn't have kids, that there's this feeling that there wasn't a lot of memories for me to make. And I'm curious if that resonates with you. Have you ever felt like the memories that are ahead for you, or the things that you thought would become memories for you, aren't available to you because you aren't a mom or you don't have kids? And I really started to kind of gnaw on this a little bit. And I was thinking about how many experiences we have in our life that we've closed ourselves off to, or maybe you've told yourself like that's not really memory worthy because it seems like too much of a stretch. Or you might think that the memories that you were going to make aren't available to you in the form that you thought they were going to come to you, which was family vacations or milestone memories of your children going to school or going to prom or birthdays, or the things that we just assumed would be instant memory makers for us. So you might find yourself closing off to opportunities to notice the memories that are happening around you, because there's so many beautiful things that happen to you in a week or maybe a month and maybe even a day. There might be so many things that could be like representative or that could be memory worthy, but because they're not associated with these grand things that we thought our memories would be created through with our motherhood or through children, we just sort of don't pay attention to them. So I want you to open up your brain to maybe welcome in an opportunity to notice the memories that you are making every day. And maybe you're making memories while you're making dinner with your partner, or while you're taking a walk with your dog and you see something for the first time, or maybe a time when you experience something where your mind pops open to something that you haven't really ever been open to before. Or maybe, like I remember the distinct day. I'll always have a memory of when I decided I was going to go to life coach school and become a life coach. Like there's so many things that have happened in my life, big and small. And I don't even like to classify things as big and small. So I think that there's so many things that have come to me in my life that are memories that I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget the times that I've had like really beautiful conversations with people on the phone, or connections with people over social media that I felt super connected to. And I said, hey, like, let's hop on a call. Like, I would love to learn more about you. I'd love to meet you virtually and talk about like what you've been through and what I've been through and create a connection that way. And so like I have these memories of people that are in my sphere and in my orbit that I'll still always remember, like our first conversation. Or I think about memories that are made when my husband and I go on a date night and we're thinking that we would be home for dinner, and we look at each other at 7:00 and we're both exhausted from a day's work, and we're like, hey, let's go out for dinner. Like, let's screw this. Like, I'm not cooking tonight. Like, let's go eat somewhere. And we have these like memories of being able to just do these things like randomly and spontaneously. Or I think about the memories that we have of like doing things around the house together and listening to music and laughing and stopping what we're doing if we're doing like chores around the house and hearing a song like Jack Johnson, Better When We're Together is the song that we danced to, our first dance at our wedding. And just this weekend, that song came on. And we both stopped what we were doing, and we were in different parts of the apartment, and we came looking for each other, and we like slow danced together, and we had this beautiful moment together. And these are the memories that I think, of course I'm getting all teary-eyed thinking of that, But these are the memories I think that are so available to us that we oftentimes don't qualify them as memorable enough. But I want to tell you that if you allow yourself to just be open to them, you're going to have such a huge memory bank and have such a beautiful life full of vignettes of beautiful moments. So I wanted you to just think about that this week as you're thinking about maybe the upcoming holidays and things that are coming up that might seem a little bit heavy for you, or you might feel like you're going to be struggling with. I want you to think about the moments that you have every day that are memory worthy and worthy of creating a lifelong memory book of this beautiful life that you have been gifted. So I'll leave you with that. Have a beautiful week. I love you. And remember, it's never too late to discover your meaning. I'll talk to you next week.